Let's explore a fresh perspective in Karma's life-changing philosophy. Tonight's lesson is drawn from the 49th verse of Yong-jig xuan-jue's The Song of Enlightenment. Together. The sudden teaching is free of sentimentalities, favoritism. As long as a lack of mastery of Buddha's quick path remains, turmoil will follow. This mountain monk is not just banging his drum. He cares who might fall into the nothing or forever path of relying exclusively on release or awareness. So there's a lot to unpack in this verse. So what do we mean by the sudden teaching? Does that mean your teacher speaks quickly? No, and a sudden teaching just means that it doesn't have to take a great ocean of time. It doesn't take the length of time equal to the birth, sustenance, and death and absence of a universe. In fact, according to the Buddha, it can be done as quickly as a week. That's pretty quick. So the next line tells us it's not that this quick path is not just for special people, people who are extra pretty or were born in a special place or at a special time. It's for anybody, anywhere. And now we come to the linchpin, the cornerstone of tonight's lesson. As long as the lack of mastery of Buddha's quick path remains, turmoil will follow. So if we experience turmoil, it's not because we're being punished by some cranky celestial entity come to throw lightning bolts at our tuchas. Au contraire, our life is turmoil because of just the way we're wired. It's a fluke of evolution. From the perspective of evolution, our happiness and peace aren't important, our reproduction is. So, because of our haywire evolution, turmoil is universal. It's ubiquitous. There are some very poignant solutions. If we apply them properly and effectively, we will experience less turmoil. If we fail to apply them, the turmoil will continue. Now, does that mean we're being punished? This reminds me of the first Matrix movie when Morpheus says to Neo, I can only show you the door. You have to walk through it. If we're ill and we see a physician and the physician gives us a prescription, and we go to the pharmacist and fill the prescription and then studiously refuse to take the prescription and get sicker, is that because the omniscient physician has thrown lightning bolts at our tushy? No, it's because we're experiencing the effects of not treating a health disorder. So Buddha is not a god. He's not in the punishment business. We are the authors of much of our stress. Not in the presence of stress, but whether that stress is exacerbated or not. Which is why we practice the Buddha's path, to put a stop to that, wouldn't you say? This mountain monk is not just banging his drum. He cares who might fall into the nothing or forever trap of relying exclusively on release or awareness. So what is the nothing trap? Being so focused on letting go that you forget to notice. Being so focused on exhaling that you forget to inhale. Well, that's absurd. We need to both inhale and exhale if we want to go on living now, don't we? What is the forever trap? Well, that's being so focused on mindfulness that we forget to let go. Oh, there we go. I once stayed in a monastery. I won't drop the name. I stayed in a monastery of a prominent teacher, and the people were so focused on mindfulness, they were forbidden to talk about letting go. They couldn't even use the term emptiness. It was crazy. So the key, the Buddhist quick path, is allowing our autonomic nervous system to do its deal, allowing our sympathetic nervous system to notice as we breathe in, allowing our parasympathetic nervous system to let go as we exhale. When our brain cooperates with that as opposed to trying to hijack it, life works really well. So let's come here. This mountain monk is not just banging his drum. Many decades ago, when I was a courier, every Friday morning, the local rock station would play the song, I don't want to work, I just want to bang on the drum all day. And forgive my singing, please. So in this point, we're talking about self-promotion. If a teacher is all about self-promotion and getting rich off you, that's kind of yucky. And here's a great way to test a teacher if you feel you need to. Say to the teacher, man, I cannot pay for the teachings. I cannot give you a donation. I'd like to, and I can't. If the guy says, listen, make your application of my teachings your offering, and that's enough, then you found a good-hearted teacher. If your teacher says, well, hey, do you have a credit card? Do you have a rich aunt? Then it's probably not a good teacher. So let's tie this up in a big red bow. If you're watching my silly face and hearing my odd voice, then you have the good fortune to receive these teachings. Remain here for the remainder of the live stream. It's all free. Whatever techniques we share, you can download these techniques for free using the links in my homepage on YouTube. And you can benefit from them. When you have a question, when you have a specific question about the Buddhist chanting or Buddhist meditation or Buddhist philosophy, simply type your question in the chat window. I will be elated to answer them for you. I look forward to chanting and meditating with you after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I spent more than 8 hours a day, every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of Buddhism so that you wouldn't have to. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. So what we're going to do is flip-flop this evening between mantra meditation and then silent meditation. So let's review the meaning of the mantra to get together. With whom we invoke the example of the Muni wise one, Maha greatly wise one, Muni, yea, of the Shakas, Soha, wishing enlightenment for all. Pretty straightforward. We're going to begin with a specific practice known in Tibetan as Lama Kyenno. It translates into English as calling the Lama from afar. Now, the category of this practice could be described as energy work. And it facilitates our exploration of bliss and letting go. It is known by many names, such as completion stage Highest Yoga Tantra, Bindu Mahamudra, Anu Yoga, or Tikle, which translates into English as drop. So let us consider the iconography of this image. The Buddha here represents our enlightened capacity, our sympathetic nervous system's capacity to notice, our parasympathetic nervous system's capacity to let go, and our anterior cingulate gyrus's capacity to have empathy. Above, we see a couple sitting in tantric union, representing literally the teachings and figuratively energy. As we breathe in, we can silently and mentally wish, Lama, come to this crown. During our exhalation, we can physically relax as best we can, while chanting this 12-syllable mantra. Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Yesoha. 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 As children, the first bicycle we received most likely had training wheels, which, although were ungainly, got the job done. Similarly, this evening's first contemplative exercise is going to be clunky. During our inhalation, let's silently and mentally recite perceiving this very turbulent play of mind. And during our exhalation, let's silently and mentally recite relaxing into mind's non-graspable nature. We begin our outer preliminary practices, or xuan-jue, where we initiate our journey upon the joyful path of effortless efforts flow, the sixth fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. We begin with right aspiration or wishing love, the second fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. May I notice others' stress. Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Yesoha. 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 May I use cause and effect to benefit all. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa. 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 In change may I see the folly of clinging. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa. 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 May I make the most of these opportunities. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa. 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 Let us remove the first of two metaphoric training wheels, reducing the length of our contemplative exercise from 12 syllables per breath down to just 3. As we breathe in, let us silently and mentally recite sitting tall, thus generating a vertical traction between our tuchus and our head. As we exhale, let us silently and mentally recite relaxing. We come to the inner preliminary practice or ngondra, where we continue our journey upon the joyful path of effortless efforts flow. Remember, 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path pertains to loving kindness. May we wish to free all from the tyranny of hating, craving, and confusion. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa. 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 May rely on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa. 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 May we learn from our errors. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Sawa. 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 May I long to share all I have. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Sawa. 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 This is during our inhalation. Let's silently and mentally recite, notice this, the practice of mindfulness, the seventh fold of the eightfold path. During our exhalation, let's silently and mentally recite relaxing, which is also known as meditation, the eighth fold of the Buddha's eightfold path. We now practice Lama Najor, which translates into Sanskrit as Guru Yoga. This is an additional form of energy work that helps us, or that facilitates our meditation upon bliss and letting go. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Sawa. 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 Let us remove the second of two metaphoric training wheels, reducing the length of our contemplative exercises from 3 syllables per breath down to just 1. During our inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this. During our exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the monosyllabic verb ease, which functions as a synonym of relax. Let's bring our experience of the four bases of mindfulness, the circumstantial, the physical, the interpersonal, and the mental, into the path of conventional love and letting go. It's conventional because it's going to emphasize love, which is known by many names, including generation or creation stage, Tantra Mahamudra Mahayoga, or Tokal, which translates as leap over. So we're going to verbally chant a loving wish. That's all it is. That's going to use some similes because we evolved to think symbolically. May all minds of all beings now be as peaceful, devoid as the mind of a Buddha of law, symbolized by Yatikle, one syllable, Siro Bija Mantra. So we breathe in, let's silently and mentally wish Bija wise for all minds. And all this is like taking this and washing it in hot water and then watching it shrink into this. That's all. Just a very concise version of what we just chanted. So it's not our job to do actual magic. It's not our job to believe or to visualize or even to emote. If all we do is coordinate the silent and mental recitation of this wish with our breathing and with our mantra, it's going to strengthen our loving intention. That's all. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Eswa. 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 That's odd. Huh. That's what we call an error. 1, 2, 3, 4. That says Gianna. 1, 2, 3, 4. Aha. Okay. Well, now that we've accomplished contemplative cruising altitude together as a team, let's meditate as transformatively as Generalair Arcana upon Ajahn Claus under the guidance of Luke Skywalker. Now let us relax into Great Seal. May all relationships of all beings now be as joyfully loving as a real or imagined Buddhist communication symbolized by this 12-syllable mantra. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yesuwa. 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 Let us relax into Sutra Mahamudra. May all bodies of all beings now enjoy the beautiful health depicted in Buddhist thought of the blissful body of a Yidama Flora and Octopath enlightenment such as Shakyamuni. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yesuwa. 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 Let us relax into the practice of Proto-Zen. May all circumstances or lots of all beings know have their good fortune or boon. As a Buddha's real or imagined paradise, spirit land or vaunty. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Esawa. 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 Let's relax into the great coalescence. Please remember that it is not our job to mind blank or concentrate, but rather as we breathe in, our job is to simply notice, and to do so vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. During our exhalation, our job is not to actively contemplate, it's to simply allow our body and mind to physically relax and mentally release as we are wired to do, as they are wired to do. So all we're really doing is getting out of our own way. We return to, we practice the ultimate path of love and letting go, whose emphasis is on letting go. How is it that as we inhale, all lots of circumstances could appear quite vivid? Yet as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel as not graspable or void as a real or imagined paradise or vati of light. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Esawa. 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 This is training in the first fold of the Eightfold Path. Right view. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Esawa. 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 Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yesuwa. 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 Let us relax into Mahasandhi. How is it that as we inhale, all bodies or forms could feel quite sensual? Yet as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel as not graspable or what is a real or imagined octuple yet a of light. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yesuwa. 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 Now let us relax into great completion stage. How is it that as we inhale the interpersonal experience of communication, or speech could sound quite resounding? Yet as we relax into our exhalation, it could feel as not graspable or what is a real or imagined mantra of light. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa 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 Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa. Let us relax into Dzogchen's great completion stage. How is it as we inhale, we could notice all minds, perceptions, emotions, intentions, cognitions, recollections, and imaginings quite clearly. Yet as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel as not graspable or thought as a real or imagined bija seed settable of light. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa 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 Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa. Let us relax into utmost unions, mindfulness and meditation. Let us transcend the vertical duality of samsara and nirvana by metaphorically inviting all the real or imagined Buddhas, their paradises, and their denizens to dwell in the 84,000 pores of our skin, thus practicing the body mandala of duality and non-duality's release. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa 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 Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa. Let us relax into Ati Yoga's utmost union. Let us bring the horizontal duality of us and them into the dance of impermanence and interdependence known as the yoga of inconceivability. Before we do, allow me to remind you that the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, or how to apply them, to type that question in great detail in the chat window. Please do not wait until the end, for by that time my brains will have turned into jello. It is far, far better for the two of us if you type your questions at the peak of your curiosity. What could it look like if all circumstances or lots blissfully and impermanently melted into rainbow light that interdependently absorbed into this body or form? Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa. What could it feel like if all forms or bodies blissfully and impermanently melted into rainbow light that interdependently absorbed into this communicational speech? Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa. 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 Oh, oopsie. What could it sound like if all interpersonal speech was fully and permanently melted into rainbow light that interdependently absorbed into this mind? Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa. 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 What could it mean like if all minds was fully and impermanently melted into rainbow light that interdependently absorbed into a vast empty void? Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which although tantalizing to the eye could be non-graspable to the hand. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa. 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 Let us slice through the duality of hope and fear. Let's bring the spontaneous play of mind into Slice Through's path of awareness and letting go. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa. 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 So what could be this? This is whatever we notice, whether it is external or internal or physical or mental or pleasurable or painful or interesting or boring or glorious or grotesque. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yeswa. 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 Let us relax into trick shows, slice through the duality of hope and fear. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Yesuwa. 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 If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even support this channel. In approximately 10 3/4 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's early meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.